What's up, guys? Nightwolf88 here, and today is Friday, November 11th, 2016, Veterans Day. And in case you haven't seen it yet, I just did a video of me playing taps in my backyard on a trumpet in honor of the veterans, whether they're alive today or joining God in heaven as we speak. And, Veterans Day, it's kind of an emotional thing when you think about it. Switch hands there. I mean, it's a great holiday to remember the ones that fought for this country, whether they lost their lives or they're staying at home right now, joining their family. They could. There's veterans that were injured, ones that were killed, and some that are. We don't even know what the heck happened to their bodies. They may be lost at sea. They may be God knows. But today it's a really special day, for this country. God bless America. And some people think that we can talk trash about this country. We like to point out there's a common thing that every human being does at some point in their life. Unless you were Jesus or something. And that is, we like to point out the faults of others. It's a natural human instinct. We like to one-up each other's feelings. We like to surround ourselves with, a lot more positives instead of worrying about our negatives. And then there's the type of people that worry too much about their negatives, and they look at others being positive, and a lot more positive than they are. And I think that's kind of the case of what we do with this country sometimes. Sometimes we talk about how, different people have collided, different religions collide, and, we don't look at the positive things as much as we used to. I gotta tell you, I had grandparents that grew up during the Great Depression. I gotta tell you, there were definitely some people taking this country for granted that went straight kissing up to it, And, who can really blame them? Because, we could, lose everything just like that, just maybe even the next hour. Now, I'm not saying that we will or anything. I'm just saying that, it's a natural instinct of the human nature to forget what we really have. It's like the saying, you never know what you have until it's gone. And I really think that's the case of our country. A lot of people are pretty... there's actually three ways of people that are looking at the fact that Donald Trump is officially going to be president of 2017 in January. There's people that either A, they're really happy about that. They're pretty excited that a lot of Republicans are pretty excited about it, or B, they're not excited about it. They're actually pretty scared about the future. They're worried about what's going to happen. They didn't want him in the White House. Or C, you don't really care, and but at the same time, you're kind of just whatever happens. I'm not gonna really say what my preference, because, I don't want to start anything. But, sometimes you gotta put faith in this country. You gotta put faith in yourselves, and you gotta put faith in the ones that work for this country. The veterans, all the citizens in America. You really have to think about them. What would we have if we didn't have the citizens of America? We wouldn't have all the civilization. I wouldn't have this. We wouldn't have the house that I live in with my family, we wouldn't have cars. We'd really have nothing. You know, the way I look at it, God made everything for a reason. And I already know a lot of you people are gonna like start bashing on that. And that's free to do whatever you want. It's just that's what I believe. Um, you know, you think there's things I don't hate about this world? I probably got a list somewhere, just hiding up in my room. If you guys ever want to hear that list, no, I'm just kidding, man. Um, to say the entire list, you guys would have to have no sensitive eardrums, whatever. The point is, sometimes this country just needs the faith of others, because that's what we thrive on sometimes. And today's a day to really look back and say, hey, we actually got pretty good, you know? Or we've got like freedom of religion, freedom of speech, we've got like one of the greatest things about America is that we've got so many religions, so many cultures, and so many people of different races all around the world. There's other countries that won't allow that. They won't allow to share their culture, their religion, they won't share anything. They may not even let them in the country. So that's one of the other great things about this country. I know I've been drilling on for a while, but I just like to talk about some of the positive things about the country we live in. And I'm sure some of you agree. If you don't, that's on you. Um, I can't force anyone's opinion. I'm just giving out mine. The thing is, I, Nightwolf88, love this country. I love America. God bless it. And I always will love this country. And you can take that quote to the bank of 2016. Nightwolf88, out of here.